That's Lit with me, Shazzy D from home. Thank you so much for joining me again for another wonderful show. And joining me on the show today is a very, very lovely guest. It's Edem Dokli, and she is the founder of We Are the Movement. Edem, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Sharon. Thank you for having me.
Not a problem at all. So, for those who may not know, can you just talk us through what We Are the Movement is?
Yeah, absolutely. So, We Are the Movement are an organization that was founded to basically create opportunities for people of color and improve access to social services. And I guess we were founded on the notion that everyone deserves a seat at the table, and we are essentially committed to providing those seats and, in some unique instances, creating the tables.
Wonderful. I love that. Seats and the tables. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And so let's roll back to how it all began. Tell us the journey.
Oh, of course. And I always quite enjoy this question. It started this year. So the movement was founded in May of this year. And it came out of a few things, and I'll speak to one of them in a moment. But one of the biggest things for me is having grown up in Australia as a woman of colour and a person of colour. I just found that all too often I'd be in a room where I just felt like I didn't belong. I felt like I wasn't seen, where I felt like my experiences was the other. And so having experienced that, and then after a few things that happened this year, it just kind of came to the forefront that if I want a world where I feel like I belong, where I feel like I'm seen, I'm going to create that world. And essentially, that's how the movement was birthed. But the other point that I said I'd come back to was in March of this year, when COVID hit, I actually lost my job. So I had a lot of time on my hands. And that experience itself kind of really, again, brought to the forefront that if I want a world where I feel like my voice is heard, I'm going to have to be instrumental in creating that world. And thus, the movement was born.
And so it's kind of, I guess, out of something that a lot of people may be like, it's really hard and a really tough and a really challenging situation, you were able to create something that has, helped a lot of people already, and that has already been a platform for so many, which I think is such a great thing. I'm just going to throw that out there. Like, that's really cool to do that. And not a problem, because We Are the Movement, you've done some events already. You've held, together with the Sounds of Afrobeats, held the Sounds of Healing event, and you had a lot of artists. I know Timamatic was there, and I know Xavier, who's been on the show before, has also been there. So talk us through that event, what it was about, and how it came together.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess being a relatively new organization, one of the big things for us is letting the community know we're here and letting the community know why we're here and what we're about. And part of that has been putting on community events where anyone, anywhere, because they have all been digital online events, anyone, anywhere can come and join. Now, as well, part of our attempt to really branch out and let people know who we are, we're also big on collaborations. So collaborating with organizations, like-minded organizations, might I add, who we can work together and bring forth a shared vision. And so Sounds of Afrobeats, which everybody knows, I mean, if you're African or person of color, or you identify as either of the two, you definitely know who Sounds of Afrobeats are. So to us, that was just an incredible organization to be able to partner with. So we felt very lucky when we got that opportunity that they even want to partner with us. It was so awesome, and we really celebrated that. And then the other part of it was the event itself, which was titled Sounds of Healing. Now, one of the key things about what we aim to do is to be able to bring mental health back to the forefront, and the importance of healthy mindset for the growth and development of us as people. And so we thought we'd put together an event that integrated practitioners and therapists, as well as the healing power of music. And that's how Sounds of Healing came to be. So the event contains therapists who are speaking about certain topics around mental health and healing, if you will, and that was generational trauma, hypersexualization of Black bodies, and decolonizing the mind, all really important topics for BIPOC communities right now. As well, we integrated musicians, i.e. Matic, we had Mali, we had Sully, and we had Sarah. So, and of course, the real change.
Amazing, amazing. And you've also held some panel events, which I was so grateful that I was able to be on one of these panel events, you know, about representation of people of color in the media. And you've had some others as well, some other panels. A lot of thought, I'm assuming, goes back into doing these. And so again, do you, when, you know, how you put these together, does this also, you know, the idea of bringing people to the table, something you're always talking about, is that how you come up with these panel ideas as well?
Yeah, exactly. It's that importance of integrating members of our community who are doing the thing really, who understand how important it is to use their platform. And like you said, you were such an instrumental asset to our panel when we spoke on when we got the chance to speak on Australian media's portrayal of people of colour. We absolutely loved having you, but as well for us, it's the opportunity to spotlight the talents and the skill set, like you said, of community members who either have a seat and are trying to make it a permanent seat or are seeking that seat.
Definitely. And so with all, you know, that you're doing with We Are the Movement, what are some of the responses that you've been getting from people who've been tuning in and watching what you've been putting out?
Yeah, I mean, the standard one is, you know, great event, great show. Where can I hear more, or where can I be a part of the next one? But the thing that really, I guess, kicked the movement into action was our first event, and the responses were just overwhelming, such that we actually formed a team out of the responses that we got, because we had that many people come and say, how do I be a part of this? And out of that, I've actually formed my 10-person team who are all incredible. And so because we're a national organisation, we have state representatives Australia-wide. And because I love my team, can I just steal this as a chance to
Go for
shout
it.
them out? So we have Sarah Roro, who is our COO. Then we have Tatenda, who is our head of digital marketing and campaigns. Then we have Anthea Balfour, who is on our advisory board. And then as well, we have Kudzai Doon, who is also on our advisory board and one of our ambassadors. After her, we have Helen Manzini, who's on our advisory board. And then we have Lydia Tsema, who is our state rep for Melbourne and as well one of our ambassadors. We have Adoba Asariman, who is our head of digital technology. I'm almost there. We have Nonyaram Duru, who is our Sydney regional rep. And we have Aisha Satipa, who is our Canberra state rep. And then me.
And then you, of course, don't forget yourself. And that's really great. And it sounds like you guys have been working really hard to, you know, put these things together. And I'm sure you have a lot coming in the future for us, correct?
Oh, yeah, I don't doubt it. We're currently working on something at the moment. And so later this evening, I'm going to jump in a meeting to make that happen as well. So we're so excited.
Ooh. So,
Watch this space.
oh, yes, excellent. So what do you enjoy the most about, you know, having been created We Are the Movement?
Oh, I love this question, and it's one that I don't think I've been asked before. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to reflect. I think it's the knowledge that my presence on this earth is contributing to the betterment of the ones around me. And when I was preparing my notes on this, actually, a thought came to mind, and it's rewarding to know that my 13-year-old self can look at me and be like, wow, I'm so proud of you.
Oh, that's so adorable. I love that. Well, based on your experience, you know, up until this point, you said you lost your job, but now you've been able to create this, you know, on the back of that happening. What advice would you give to someone who, you know, may be going through something challenging, or who may have gone through, you know, an experience, you know, they weren't expecting?
Mm-hmm.
How would you, you know, talk about getting through that based on your experience?
Yeah, another really wonderful question. I would say perceive each challenge as an opportunity. There's no challenge that will come to you that does not act as a building block to rise up and be a better version of yourself. And as well, it's futile to look at other people's success and say to yourself, I want that, because that might not be your journey, that might not be your calling, that might not be your path or your lane. Stay in your lane. I hear that all the time, and it's so important, because the success of what I've been able to build was based on me being true to what I'm good at, what's at the core of me, and what means most to me. And so I'd never kind of say, well, the measure of success is this, this, and this. The measure of success really is when you can look within yourself and say, I'm better than who I was yesterday.
Yes.
So falling on hard times isn't bad. It's actually an opportunity to rise up and attain success.
What a beautiful way to end such a great chat, Edem. Thank you so, so much for coming on the show and speaking with me.
My pleasure.
So, how can we find We Are the Movement?
Oh, of course, I love this part. So we have 3 platforms that you can access to get to know more about who we are. That's our website. So it's We Are the Movement, and movement is spelled MVMNT.com. We also have our Instagram page and our Facebook page, which is we are dot the and the movement as is normally spelled.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Again, Edem, thanks for joining me on the show.
Thank you for having me, Sharon, and I'm so glad that I got to be here today and see what you're doing. It's incredible. I think we're all going to be really great.
Thank you so much.